The new GS 1300 has arrived, and I will compare it with 1250 GS to find out what's good on a new bike and what's not so good, or could be better. I will start with things I really like on a 1300. First of all, I really like the new engine. It has more power, more torque, it is smoother and more responsive, and for me it is step in right direction. It's not big difference, 9 horsepowers and 6 Newton meters more comparing to 1250, but it is enough to feel the difference in riding. We can directly compare it with 1250 in acceleration and elasticity. Also, I really like the electric windshield. I was complaining numerous times because 1250 does not have the electric windshield, and I think that bike this price deserve one. On a new bike with windshield in up position, the wind protection is little bit better than on 1250. I like the new brakes. The 1300 is on the Brembo again, and they are fantastic. The brakes bite strongly, and it is super easy to apply the right amount of braking power with one finger. The 1300 GS has a new electronic suspension and in combination with weight reduction bike feels nimble and much more agile. In road mode, suspension react very similar to 1250, but dynamic mode is little harder than 1250. The new suspension can automatically lower the bike by 30 millimeters at speeds below 25 kilometers per hour, which will be excellent for a short riders, allowing them to put the whole foot on the ground when bike stops. Also, when engine is running, the suspension will help you to lift the bike on a center stand. gearbox was always the worst part of GS. It's not rubbish, but it simply wasn't on the same level with the rest of the bike, and same as with quick shifter. We all over time adapt to that kind of gearbox and stop notice it. And also if you reset adaptive values of quick shifter on each service, things get better. But that don't change the fact that BMW had to do better job with the gearbox. The 1300 GS has a brand new gearbox, and now it is placed at the bottom of the engine, and nothing has changed. It is still the worst part of the bike. The new gearbox is a little bit smoother and a little bit less clanky, but it is much harder to shift the gear, and it takes a considerable amount of pressure to change the gear. This is not a big problem if you're wearing motorcycle boots on a short rides, but for longer rides and any other shoes, it will be annoying. Also, the quick shifter is a little bit better, especially on downshifts, but far from perfect. There are few things that I really don't like on 1300 GS. From the first glance, it is obvious that the new bike is smaller and narrower comparing to 1250, and that was a big surprise for me because GS was always synonym for comfort, robustness, and appearance, and obviously in a smaller size, some of these attributes are missing. On the 1300 GS, the foot pegs are higher, legs are more bent, and also the handlebars are lower, and you can feel reduction in legroom, which makes the bike less comfortable. Also, the seat is narrow and harder, and this is a big problem for me. I do long rides all the time, and one of most important things is comfort of the bike, so I don't understand the BMW decision to make the bike less comfortable. This is a deal breaker for a lot of GS fans, including me. Also, the feeling on 1300 is more sportier. It's like you are sitting on the bike, and on 1250, the feeling is that you sitting in the bike well protected from all the elements. I don't like the placement of TFT display which stands alone, and it looks like BMW forgot about TFT and then hastily install it when the bike was already finished. Furthermore, the menu is unnecessarily much more complicated. It's not clear and intuitive like 1250, and it is difficult to change the settings on the ride. I absolutely don't like the big black cheap-looking plastic on top of the radar, which in combination with equally cheap-looking plastic around the headlight dominates the front end of the bike. I hope that some aftermarket product will be available to improve the situation. As conclusion, the 1300 is a great bike. It rides extremely well, but I will stay on my 1250 until 1400 GS or Adventure comes, because I don't believe that improvements on the 1300 will ever be able to compensate comfort and size of 1250 on a long rides, especially with all the cases and maximum load. Tell me in comments, what do you think about new GS? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.